Hello, welcome to a one-on-one interview with Drexel CCI corporate partner, Vanguard. I'm Chelsea Lowe, program coordinator for the Corporate Partners Program, and I'm happy to introduce Colin Beckford. Colin is a third-year computer science student at Drexel CCI, and he'll be interviewing from Vanguard, Lucy Wagner, University and Recruiting Partnership Lead. Colin, I'll pass it over to you.
Great, thank you. Hi, Lucy. I hope your day's been going well. Let's get started. Can you introduce yourself? Let us know of your role at Vanguard and some of your everyday work responsibilities.
Sure, definitely. Hi, everyone. My name's Lucy Wagner again. I am currently a lead on our University Recruiting and Partnerships team. So what that means is my team is really responsible for finding really great talent for our internships, as well as our entry-level roles at Vanguard. I'm lucky enough, I'm paired up with different schools in the Philadelphia region, and I'm lucky enough that Drexel is one of my schools.
Awesome. How has working from home changed your workload?
Working from home, it essentially stayed pretty steady as far as my workload goes. I'm lucky enough to be one of our employees at Vanguard who is able to work from home under normal circumstances. So I won't do that every day of the week, but once a week I was typically working from home. So now we're just shifting to that fully virtual capacity. I will say a big part of my job is traveling out to universities. Penn State, for example, is one of my schools, which is about a 3.5-hour drive from my house. So it's definitely opened up some additional time for us now that we're not making those long distance travels.
May I ask, if you aren't doing those long distance travels anymore, is there any way you're sort of replicating that sort of experience for students?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say a lot is similar to today, right? So we're shifting a lot of our would-be events in person to a virtual standpoint. I know last night I was on for Drexel CCI networking night, along with a plethora of other schools who are doing something similar. So we've just seen schools and employers alike shifting to virtual career fairs, networking nights, and information sessions.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
What value have you seen from partnering with Drexel CCI?
Yeah, Drexel CCI is a really big pool for us as far as IT talent. We get about 5 or 6 really strong full-time hires into IT at Vanguard just about every year. So that's a really strong talent pool for us. Along with that, we've been really able to grow our IT co-op program through Drexel CCI. We have just alone for this spring-summer cycle, they're starting Monday virtually, I'm happy to say, but we have 18 of those students alone and 15 additional postings for fall-winter. So that's definitely been great to see that talent pool grow for us over time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of the largest and most popular investment companies. How does computing and informatics play a role at the company?
Yeah, it plays a really big role at Vanguard. So even though, like you said, we are one of the largest financial services companies in the world, we're just as much an IT company at this point. I mean, everything we do is supported by technology. We have about 17,000 employees worldwide, and about 1/3 of those employees are actually IT. So it's a big support to everything that we do.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
What financial education or finance electives would be helpful for students interested in securing a co-op position at Vanguard?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of our co-ops are more technical, right? So we had about 18 that were directly in IT, and then we had about 8 other co-ops that were in finance. But I'd say on the IT side, a lot of the languages that we use at Vanguard that are helpful to know. Vanguard's a big Java shop, so a lot of our programs were traditionally Java-based. We're in a very, I'd say, broader transition phase where we're looking to get everything over to cloud-based systems. We're using AWS for that. So any knowledge in Java, AWS is really great to know. Along with Python, SQL, there's so many there's so many different potential tasks that could be asked of you. That's one big ongoing project, but there's just a ton of different languages and programs that we're using.
That's funny you mentioned that because that was actually my next question.
Mhm.
What coding languages, APIs, or libraries are prominently used at Vanguard? You mostly answered this, but I wonder when students are accepted for this position, are they prompted to maybe spend time to learn any more programming languages or anything along the lines of that?
With that, there's certainly, mentors on your team along with your manager. If you feel like there's a skill you're lacking, they'll definitely, sit with you, provide you with mentors to help get those skills more up to par. But it's hard to say exactly where you'd be working. There's all different areas where our IT Drexel co-ops have worked historically.
I see. What kind of projects would a developer generally work on at Vanguard?
Yeah, it depends. I know I say this more broad, but every year we bring on a lot of entry-level developers, and they're sent to all different areas throughout the company. So it's hard to give, directly exactly what project you could be working on. Something that's really big for us that just launched is our virtual advising platform. Some of our entry-level full-time hires in our technology leadership program were assigned to help build out all of the programming and technology that's used behind that. So that's just one example, but there's tons of different projects that you could potentially be placed on as a full-time hire as well as a co-op student.
That's great. So I assume as a co-op student, your responsibilities are probably pretty fluid throughout your time at Vanguard. Sometimes working on one project and then you switch to the other. Is that the case?
Yeah, it could definitely be the case for all of our IT co-ops too. They have all different managers, so they're on completely different teams working on different projects. That's something we're thinking through right now. We're shifting that completely virtual. Maybe there's an opportunity to bring all those co-op students together and work on a collective project or keep them separate. But that's a great question.
What non-technical skills are most important to you and job applicants?
Yeah, definitely a few. The first that comes to mind is relationship management. That's huge for Vanguard across the board, whether you're in IT or finance. We are very much so a team-oriented organization. There's constant collaboration that you're seeing. So just being able to work with all walks of life, that's really important for us. Along with that is just a desire for continued learning. Just because you're a technical expert doesn't mean you know it all. There's a lot of things that are unique to Vanguard, and as you progress through your career, there's a lot of learning that continues. So just somebody who truly has that desire to learn and willingness to be coached, that's a great quality that we look for as well.
That's great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
What types of jobs would recent graduates be hired for?
Yeah, we have a plethora of jobs across all of Vanguard. I'll focus on the IT opportunities. One we hit on already. Typically every year we have a lot of entry-level developer roles. And then on top of that, we also have a program called our Technology Leadership Program. So that's a 2-year rotational program for all different areas in IT. So there's 3 rotations in total. They're all 8 months in length, and there's 3 different areas you can apply for. One is technical operations, one is information and security, and the third is application development. So depending on which track you're in, those are the different specified rotations that you would be going through.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe the company culture?
The company culture is definitely something that was really intriguing to me when I was hired into Vanguard. I love the company culture. Again, it's really collaborative, team-oriented environment that we work in. Along with that, Vanguard has a very big stance on giving back to the community and corporate stewardship. So I've really enjoyed that as an employee at Vanguard. Every employee is given 1 day a year where you're fully paid and you take your time and go donate to the community. We call that volunteer time off. So I really enjoyed being able to take advantage of that, and Vanguard makes it really feasible to give back to the community while working full time. So I really enjoy that. And then at Vanguard, we also promote a really, diverse and inclusive workplace. We have we call them crew resource groups. Crew for us just stands for employee. But we have all different groups that promote diversity and inclusion. Typically, they're meeting once a month. We have Women in Leadership. We have the Vanguard Black Professional Network. We have Open, which is our LGBT leadership community. We have Hola, which is Hispanic and Latino leadership, as well as LEAP, which is our Asian professionals and leadership community. So that's something I really enjoy and take advantage of it as an employee as well, and just one of the many ways that Vanguard promotes a inclusive and diverse workplace.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for in a Drexel co-op?
Yeah, I think ultimately, you know, our goal is that it's a really great fit for us and we convert our co-ops into full-time hires and long-term employees at Vanguard. So a lot of the skill sets that we already covered, you know, that willingness and desire to continue to learn and grow. Vanguard's always looking for its next generation of young leaders, so that's a great quality for us. Along with that, again, relationship management, that's huge. Whether you're an intern or a co-op, I always tell students to really treat those opportunities as an interview the entire time that you're working with us. So having an executive presence and staying professional, that's definitely something that we look for, and in an opportunity to convert those students to full-time hires eventually.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
For my last question, I wanted to ask, what's your favorite part about working at Vanguard?
Yeah, I'd say my favorite part is how collaborative it truly is. And, you know, I know I mentioned a lot on the professional side. Vanguard also, they host a lot of different groups and perks throughout the company. So as an employee, you can take advantage of our gyms that we have on campus. Through our gyms, we actually host intramural sports. We have everything from basketball, soccer, bowling, flag football, where you can go out and just meet like-minded people like yourself who have similar hobbies. And that's something I've really enjoyed as an employee at Vanguard, is just being able to take advantage of finding, you know, commonalities with my coworkers. So I think that's something that's really cool and something I've enjoyed at the company.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say thank you for spending the time on answering these interview questions. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the Drexel students will as well. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, great job, Colin. I'm glad you were able to connect with Lucy, and really appreciate both of you taking time to speak with us today.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you, Chelsea. Stay healthy and safe.
Thank you.